Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are diving right into something we all do, but probably rarely think about on a deeper level, our weekend chores. I mean, on the surface, doing chores sounds incredibly mundane, right? But we're going to unpack one very specific, fascinating conversation about a family's Sunday routine to uncover the hidden psychology of eco-guilt. We're going to explore how we, as human beings, try to balance our own moral ledgers. Let's see how one man's quiet weekend habit actually reveals so much about modern life.
So, we start with this really relatable mystery posed by a daughter, Rashmi. She asks her mom a pretty straightforward question. Why does Papa go beach cleaning every single Sunday? Now, this isn't just a casual, fun hobby for him. Rashmi notices her dad gets genuinely upset if something prevents him from going out there. There's this heavy emotional weight attached to the task that goes way beyond just, being a good citizen. It's almost a compulsion.
And the crucial point here is how the mother, Mama, handles it. She completely validates this curiosity. She doesn't just brush it off with a, "that's just how he is." Instead, she acknowledges that Rashmi has noticed something profound, saying, "It's an interesting thing that you pointed out. Let us ask him." This totally opens the door for a real family dialogue, taking a simple observation and turning it into a direct investigation of those motivations we usually keep hidden away.
Section 1. The Packaging Dilemma. Economic survival versus moral survival.
Okay, here is where the plot really thickens. When they ask him why he cleans the beach so religiously, Papa reveals his weekday reality. His day job is at a company that actually produces packaging materials. And he admits he knows full well that these materials take a really long time to degrade, and ultimately they just end up dumped in the environment. Think about the gravity of that for a second. His 9-to-5 job is directly contributing to the exact type of pollution he spends his weekends fighting against.
This brilliantly illustrates the heavy, heavy burden of eco-guilt. He says, "I feel very bad, but there's nothing I can do about it." I mean, have you ever felt that way? Completely trapped inside a massive systemic issue without any obvious way out? He is fully aware of his negative impact, he feels the moral weight of it, but he feels entirely powerless to change the massive macro system of industrial packaging.
Naturally, Rashmi asks the question any of us would ask, right? Well, why don't you just take up another job? But life is rarely that simple. Practical constraints totally anchor him to this industry. They live in a small city where there just aren't many alternative jobs available. Moving to a big city would mean uprooting their entire lives, their community, the whole shebang. So instead, he accepts his reality. He chooses to stay in a city while finding an alternative way to, as he puts it, do his bit.
Think about the intense, ongoing cognitive dissonance this creates. On one hand, you have his weekday reality, producing harmful packaging materials for economic survival, putting food on the table. And directly opposing it is his weekend reality, actively cleaning up the local beach for his moral survival. It's this constant seesaw, doing harm to provide for his family and doing good to protect his own conscience.
Section 2. Prayashit. Finding redemption. The psychology of penance.
Listening to all of this, Mama connects the dots for the whole family. She observes aloud that the beach cleaning is really his way of giving back to nature for the harm he indirectly causes during the week. She recognizes that this tough physical labor isn't just community service at all. It is a deeply personal, psychological coping mechanism.
And Papa actually agrees, using a very specific word for this, prayashchit. This translates to penance or atonement. By naming it, we see exactly how this redemptive labor functions as an essential emotional antidote for him. It's absolutely not optional. It is a necessary act to cleanse his guilt. He has essentially created a customized ritual just to restore his internal moral equilibrium.
If there was literally any doubt about how critical this is to his mental health, just consider his own words. "I need to do it. I feel very unhappy if I fail in doing it." The Sunday cleanup isn't something he can just take or leave. If he misses a single Sunday, the guilt from the work week just piles up without any release valve, which leads right back to that genuine upset Rashmi noticed at the very beginning of our explainer.
Section 3. The catalyst for action, from ignorance to realization. So now that the family gets what he's doing, Rashmi asks another really piercing question. Why on earth didn't he share this deeply personal motivation with them before today? Papa's reply reveals his core philosophy about human nature. He says, the realization has to come from within, then only the right action will happen. He fundamentally believes that true behavioral change just cannot be forced or lectured into someone. It requires a totally authentic internal awakening.
He admits he actually didn't do this for many years. His journey follows a very specific timeline. Step 1, literally years of inaction. Then, Step 2, the catalyst. He watched a documentary showing a turtle trapped in a fishing net. Just a single visual, but it cut through all his rationalizations. Step 3 is that internal realization, where everything just shifted mentally. And finally, step 4, the decision to act, which manifests as his Sunday beach cleaning. It shows how one powerful piece of media can trigger lifelong behavioral change.
Section 4. A collective family effort. Individual action sparks collective change.
Hearing this entire journey, Rashmi has a massive realization of her own. She looks at her dad and says, "You are doing this for all of us, so next Sunday onwards we will all go." This is such a stunning moment of empathy. Rashmi recognizes that Papa's moral burden is actually a family burden, because remember, he works that job to provide for them. Instantly, the whole dynamic of the household transforms. He shouldn't have to carry that weight all by himself. And just like that, the solitary ritual evolves. The family rallies together to create a brand new Sunday plan. Rashmi and Papa are going to actively clean the beach together, while Mama prepares coffee for everyone to enjoy while they work. Papa notes how deeply, deeply appreciated this support is. Every single member is now contributing to this ritual of redemptive labor, and they're doing it not out of forced obligation, but through mutual support.
The story wraps up with these incredibly powerful words from Mama. "We are so proud of you." Just think about the journey he went on here. In a span of a few minutes, Mama's concluding statement completely reframes Papa's secret, solitary guilt into a huge source of shared family pride. His vulnerability didn't push his family away at all. It brought them right to his side.
So, to wrap up our explainer today, I want to leave you with this thought. If a single turtle documentary can inspire a lifetime of redemptive labor for one man, what internal realization might spark your own collective action? Look, we all navigate systems we don't perfectly align with, but as this family shows us, our own private realizations and our willingness to share them out loud might just have the power to reshape the world around us, starting right in our own homes. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and keep reflecting.